In this next topic that we want to talk about market failure, where the market failure fails to produce productive and allocative efficiency, which we'll talk about in a minute. And we also want to talk about what is called consumer or producer surplus, what the buyer or seller gains out of the selling or the buying of a particular good. In order to do that, we have a market analysis up here with a demand-supply schedule. Our prices range from $2 to $10. Our quantity demanded goes from 1 to 5. Our quantity supplied goes from 5 to 1. And I've drawn the subsequent graph on the board, I guess to give us some type of visual reference, if you will. In this particular situation, I agreed to sell you 3 units of a good at $6 per unit. You agree to buy 3 units of a good for $6 per unit. But looking at this, we want to see who benefits and who loses. In this particular situation, nobody loses. If we take a look at this, we know that you will buy 3 units at $6. However, this first unit, if you were to buy, you are the demander, you are the purchaser. If you were to buy the first unit, you would be willing to spend up to $10. But they're telling you all you have to spend on that is $6. That's like going into Boscov's and saying, I want this dress and I'm going to pay you $100, this garment I should say, I'm going to pay you $100 for it, and the person behind the counter says, no, just give me $50. So therefore, you benefit from this. You're willing to spend $10, but you only have to spend $6 for that good. So therefore, you're betting this much innate value, if you will. The second unit, you're willing to spend up to $8 for that value, for that particular good. But again, in this situation, you only have to spend $6 for that particular good. The third unit, you value at $6 and you pay $6. The fourth unit, you only value at $4, but they're telling you have to pay $6, so therefore you purchase nothing beyond the point of equilibrium. And therefore, in this situation, we call this triangle. I'm just going to label it A, B, and C. I'm going to call this consumer surplus. This is what you value. This is the amount of utility. If you go back to an earlier chapter, a utility that you get out of purchasing this good. Again, you believe you value that first unit at $10, but you only have to pay $6. You value the second unit at $8, but you only have to pay $6. Subsequent to that, a producer, he's willing to sell you the first unit at $2. But you say, no, forget $2, I'm going to give you $6. So therefore, the supplier benefits from this. The second unit, he's willing to sell you for $4. Say, oh, no, I'm going to give you $6. And therefore, the supplier benefits from this area. The supplier also benefits from the point of equilibrium. Usually we call that an indifference point, and we always choose that. However, up here, people are only going to pay you $4 for this good, but you want more than that, so you refuse to produce anything beyond the point of equilibrium or allocate resources to that. So therefore, you're getting this entire triangle. I'm going to do this one in green. Hopefully it'll show up. There we go. This particular triangle is called producer surplus. The extra surplus, the extra amount of goodwill that you get out of doing this. Again, you're willing to accept $2 for the first unit, but they pay you $6. You're willing to accept $4 for the second unit, they pay you $6. So therefore, we have the idea of producer surplus and consumer surplus. We can also consider this to be what is called marginal benefit equaling marginal cost. marginal benefit, the extra benefit of producing the extra unit is I will produce that up to the point where they are equal. In this case, the marginal benefit would be here, and the marginal cost would be here. And we'll talk about all of those in a little bit. So that's the idea of consumer and producer surplus.